Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I think it's been 3 or 4 weeks since my last video. I actually got sick twice this month, so it's been a little rough. Been a little busy with dad life and everything. Got a bunch of videos coming very soon. Got a review of 1815 coming, QE, and a bunch of others. But if you're watching this, today is April Fool's, so I wanted to do something different. I'm releasing 2 videos today that has nothing to do with board games or tabletop or anything. So this video is going to be my top 10 movies of all time. You know, I guess just to share something else besides tabletop community or board games. But yeah, let's go straight into it. This is my top 10 movies of all time. Maybe some people will be surprised, maybe not. So, excuse me, still recovering. My number 10 is Saturday Night Fever. So this is probably on maybe every single Italian from New York's list. I mean, it's just a New York classic. I mean, everything from the music to just, I mean, I know it's not the best acting in the world. I find the movie hilarious, but I don't know. It's a special movie, at least for me. I love it. That's number 10, Saturday Night Fever. Number 9 is an Italian movie. This is a Western. It's called Il Buono, Il Brutto, and Il Cattivo, which stands for the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you know that is Sergio Leone's classic with Clint Eastwood, Eli Wallach, and oh my gosh, Lee Van Cleef. So I think it is the greatest Western ever made, and Quentin Tarantino has said himself that he thinks it is probably it probably is the greatest directed movie he's ever seen, and you can see where he gets his influence from. It's a pretty long movie. It's almost 3 hours long, but it's so worth it. I mean, if you're gonna watch it, I highly recommend you watch it in Italian with English subtitles. Even though they're speaking English, the American actors, it just doesn't look right. I mean, and the dubbing is pretty bad, but still an incredible movie. That is my number 9, Il Buono, Il Brutto, and Il Cattivo. Number 8 is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, I am obsessed with ancient history. I've always been interested in archaeology. Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of those movies. It's since my childhood, I've always adorned it. You know, it's a classic. I think it's still the best out of all the 4. I mean, I'm kind of hoping the 5th one is good. We'll see what happens. I think Last Crusade is the second best out of all the movies. It's not on my top 10. But it's definitely in my top 20. I didn't make it, but yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's just a classic, man. And I think it still holds up to this day. Number 8, it's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Number 7 is a horror classic movie from 1978, and that is Halloween. It's one of the best horror movies ever. One of the best horror movies and movies, period, in my personal ever made. I think it changed the genre. It changed, it brought the slasher movie genre into fruition. I mean, it didn't pick up till the 80s, but the blueprint was right there in Halloween. But it's also, people have compared it to Psycho. I think it's better than Psycho, but I don't know. It's one of those type of movies that every year you got to watch on Halloween. I watch it like maybe 10, 20 times a year. That's how much I love it. It's just it's a great story. Donald Pleasance, I feel like that movie really made him too. But I love Halloween. This is why it's on my top 10. My number 6. So again, people might not think this is fair, but I don't care. This is my list. I'm gonna go with the Friday the 13th series. Now, if people know me, I'm a freaking fanatic when it comes to those movies. Since I was a little kid, I've always been obsessed with it. I just love the whole cheesiness of it. The stories are horrible, the acting's horrible, but it's just so much fun to watch. And just the whole Jason character is just a horror staple. I mean, when people think of horror movies, horror slashers, that's the first thing that comes to mind. And it's a classic in its own right. I mean, it's never gonna win any awards and stuff. But, amongst us fans, amongst horror fans, it's got a special place in our hearts. So that's why I'm going with the whole Friday the 13th series for number 6. Number 5 is a movie from 1994, and that is, my opinion, Quentin Tarantino's best movie, and that is Pulp Fiction. You know, Pulp Fiction, I feel, changed the genre, where I just love the whole, there's like 5 different stories in one, and they're all connected somehow. I just always found it fascinating. I think to this day the movie still holds up. It's every time it's on TV, I gotta watch it. Tarantino is just a genius. Last movie he released, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The whole movie is dialogue filled, and usually for something for me, like I find that shit boring. But just the way that he just directs, the way he sets everything up, it's just, I don't know, you just so intrigued by it. Like that movie, it gets better every time, and the same goes for Pulp Fiction. It gets better every time I watch it, and that's why it's my number 5. That is Pulp Fiction. Number 4, man, this is a horror sci-fi. I'm going to call it a horror sci-fi because it does have horror elements in it, and it came out around the time when slasher movies were very popular, and that is 1984's The Terminator. So again, this is another movie that's very close to my heart. Arnold Schwarzenegger was an idol for me growing up. All those action stars, Arnold, Sylvester Stallone. It was just, oh man, I just love watching them growing up and stuff. But Rocky didn't make the list. I thought Rocky was gonna make this list. It's number 11. Actually, it should have been number 10, but whatever. Cares. But yeah, The Terminator is just a classic, James Cameron. But if you take a guess what number 3 is going to be, it's Terminator 2. Now, I know there's a little bit of discussion on which one's better, 1 or 2. There's people who say number 1 is better. I always found the second one better because I feel like, again, it changed everything. It took, he made the sequel, and he made it just 100 times better. I still think the movie looks better than most of this crap that comes out today with all the CGI and everything. About 10% of that movie is CGI. Everything else is just practical effects. And of course, it just had an amazing story. And I think it's James Cameron's best movie. Better than that Avatar crap. Better than Titanic. I think Aliens is overrated. But I know I'm going to get a lot of slack for that. But yeah, my number 3 is Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Number 2 is Godfather 1 and 2. Now, I'm combining these two movies together because I feel that if you really look at it, 1 and 2 is one whole movie. And in the 90s, they created the saga where they combined 1 and 2 together, where they started with young Vito in Sicily and then just went in chronological order. And I think it was amazing. Long as shit, but it was amazing. But yeah, Godfather, it just doesn't get better than that. Again, every time it's on TV, I gotta watch it. They got the Sicilian downright the language and everything. And you appreciate it even more. But yeah, I mean, classic. How can anyone not love those movies? 3 is alright, but 1 and 2, that's those to me one of the best movies ever made. Now, number 1 is a movie that was filmed in my own backyard, and again, I think it's Martin Scorsese's best movie. It should have gotten more love at the 1991 Oscars than it should have. I think Dances with Wolves is an overrated movie. But yeah, my number 1 is Goodfellas. It's why I love Goodfellas so much is because the movie doesn't feel scripted. All the characters just gel so well together. It feels like the whole movie is just improvised. But yeah, it's just one of those type of movies. It's just perfect in every way. It's about that rise in. He's a Sicilian Irish gangster in the Lucchese crime family. He lives a good life and everything. He sees all the good that comes out of this life, but then like everything else in that life, it goes to shit. And it's just, I don't know. To me, it's the perfect movie. It's my favorite movie of all time, and that is number 1, Goodfellas. Well, yeah, that's gonna be my top 10. Yeah, I kind of wish Rocky. I said Saturday Night Fever for number 10. You know what? I'm changing it to Rocky. Rocky is just a classic. But yeah, so it goes Rocky Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Halloween, Friday the 13th movie series, Pulp Fiction, The Terminator, Terminator 2, Godfather 1 and 2, and Goodfellas. So that's my top 10. And now later on, I'll be releasing my top 10 albums of all time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe. Love to hear your opinions too. Leave them in the comments. Until next time, guys, have a great one.